WEHA. It's more than music. It's ministry.
WEHA, Port Republic, Atlantic City. And now on FM Translator 100.3, W262CF, Atlantic City.
WEHA is a listener-supported radio station. To make a donation, call 609-641-8870. Visit our headquarters at 3 Canal Drive, Egg Harbor Township, New Jersey, 08234. Or log on to our website, wehavegospel.com.
We have gospel.
If you just tune in, you're listening to In the Community with Dr. Thelma Witherspoon and First Lady Mary Parrish Ministries. We are excited to be in the studio live on today, and we have a wonderful, wonderful program for you today. This broadcast has been brought to you by the Hawks family businesses who have been serving our community for over 30 years, and Beacon Hall, turning moments into memories. And Tabernacle Church of Christ, Bishop Otis Grayson and First Lady Betsy Grayson. Thank you so much for sponsoring In the Community with Dr. Thelma and First Lady Parrish. I'm very excited about that. The churches have really made my heart feel good on the beginning of this year to sponsor our show. So thank you so much. And certainly we want you to continue with those donations to WEHA 88.7, 100.3 FM. We have a 8 for 88 campaign that is going on. And if you would like to sponsor our show, you can go to www.wehavegospel.com and sponsor. Make sure you say Dr. Thelma, First Lady Parrish, in the community. Amen. And so thank you so much. Thank you so much. Tomorrow is Palm Sunday. And it begins a religious Holy Week. Holy Week starts on next week. And I know many people are not in their churches. But we have the word on the inside. And for those who are able to do the online services, that's a blessing. Make sure you tune in and you get what you need. You can always open up your Bible and begin to read that as well, beginning the last week of Christ before the resurrection. All right, so happy Palm Sunday to everybody. And if you really want that palm and you don't have it and you go into ShopRite, I was in ShopRite on yesterday with my mom and saw that they had some in the flower section. They have some nice palms already decorated up at a not too much of a price, but it's nice, like $7.99. It was like $8 or something like that, because some people I saw on Facebook, they were saying, I want my palm, I want my palm. So if you couldn't get or wouldn't be able to receive your palm and you just so happen to be in ShopRite,
we're going to have drive-by palm.
All right, in the flower, you can pick that up. All right. Just a few announcements. I would like to say the Westminster Christian Worship Center, right now we're still scheduled to have our breakfast on May 16th, 2020. Oh, Lady Praise is in the house. All right, that's okay. And we will be having, this is going to be on May 16th. And it's going to be at the Sheraton Hotel and Convention Center, our annual fellowship prayer breakfast. And our guest preacher will be Pastor Marshall Blackman from the Marshall Blackman Ministries of Raleigh, North Carolina. Musical guest, Melvin Crispell III, 2019 Sunday Best Winner. And our praise and worship will be by Tisha Witherspoon and hosted by Minister Marcus Witherspoon. There are a few announcements that I want to make sure that our listening audience is definitely aware of. The 2020 primary election party declaration information. If you are an independent, the deadline to declare if you want to be affiliated with either party will be the deadline is April the 8th. April the 8th. The state law requires that certain registered voters file a declaration of party affiliation form no later than 55 days before the date of the primary election in order to vote in that election. The primary election will be held on Tuesday, June the 2nd, 2020. Therefore, voters who are required to file these forms must complete a declaration of party affiliation form and file it with the municipal clerk or the county commissioner of registration no later than April 8th, 2020 in order to be eligible to vote in the primary election. You must file a declaration of party affiliation form if you wish to vote in the primary election of a political party other than the party which you are currently affiliated. You need not file a declaration of party affiliation form by April 8th in order to vote in the primary election if you are currently affiliated with the political party in whose primary you wish to vote. Second, you have never declared a political party or have never previously voted in a primary election. You are a newly registered voter and the June 2nd, 2020 primary election is the first primary in which you will be eligible to vote. You were an independent voter as of January 1st, 2016 and have not affiliated with a party since that time. Special notice to independent voters. As of January 1st, 2006, voters previously declared independent are by law now classified as unaffiliated. Unaffiliated voters may declare their affiliation with a political party by filing a declaration of party affiliation form as described above. They may then vote in the primary election. An unaffiliated voter may, however, choose instead to declare affiliation with either party, the Democrat or Republican Party, at the polling place on the day of the primary elections. Forms to designate a change in political party affiliation may be obtained by calling the Superintendent of Elections office at 609-645-5885 or by visiting the county website at www.aclink.org/elections. So I wanted to make sure that everyone was aware of that. Also, the tax deadline extension, we normally file our taxes by April 15th. The New Jersey state filing deadline is now July 15th, 2020. The federal deadline is also July 15th, 2020. And the state fiscal year is now September the 30th, 2020. So, Lady Parrish,
Yes.
do you have anything you would like to share with us today?
Well, tomorrow we'll virtually be with you for Palm Sunday at Shiloh Temple. And I think other churches will have virtual services. So you can watch and pray with us and enjoy the service. We know that we cannot come together as, with the social distancing and COVID-19, but we can come together online. We'll be live on WEHA 88.7 and 100.3 FM tomorrow at 11 a.m. So we ask you to join us. And as Dr. Witherspoon said, support this station in our community. We have to support our community. A lot of you, I know, tune into other places, but support your own.
Absolutely. And during this time, the restaurants have gotten hit pretty hard.
Yes.
And let's support our local restaurants, the takeouts, if you're able to do that. You know, make sure that we're supporting the local restaurants as well. Now, during this COVID 19, a lot of people are becoming very creative. And what has happened with you, Lady Paris? Yes, I want everybody to see.
I created my own mask.
She created her own mask. Look how elegant. Oh,
I'm gonna turn the camera away for a second. Good morning, Sister Johnson. I see you. This is my camera. Can you see me? Okay. Yes. I am going. That's my mask I created, and it's going to actually go into with our guest who will be up with us soon about coping during the pandemic, because there's so many ways you can cope. Be creative.
Yes.
If you always wanted to paint, go to YouTube and learn to paint.
absolutely.
Learn to calligraphy. Learn something new, and you won't be bouncing off the walls.
Absolutely. Staying in the house, just bouncing off the walls, like First Lady Paris said. So, what have you done since the coronavirus?
Yes. What have you done? What have you done?
Maximize your time and your potential. You don't know what's on the inside of you,
Yes.
but with all of this time, instead of just sitting in front of the TV, watching MSNBC, CNN, the local news, Fox News, or your Facebook, you're on social media, what are you doing since the coronavirus has appeared as we know it as of today?
Yes.
So that would be something I would like to see. And I've been seeing people create masks and do all kind of different things. Now, there was some price gouging up in New York. And the mask was $30. And people was charging $1,200 in Coney Island
Oh my God.
for a mask.
One of my Facebook friends said they would charge $15 for grits. It's like grits. Yes.
I wouldn't eat no
$15.
grits that day. I
They
wouldn't eat
would
none.
know.
No, I wouldn't eat none.
But that is gouging.
That's
and
price
we have
gouging.
to use wisdom. If we go and you see that the prices are just phenomenal, be more creative. Go home and do something else. We have a lot of food in our house, cans and everything else. Bring those cans out, put something in them, and start eating the stuff that we already have in our cabinets.
Exactly. And we have so much stuff probably at home that if you go in your closet, you may find something that's already there, so you're not paying those astronomical prices
Right.
for stuff that's really. And I thought that was horrible. Someone from Atlanta put it on because they're originally from New York,
Right.
and people are actually going out taking out loans, poor people,
Yes.
to get a mask that was $30, which is still high, and paying $1,500,
Go in,
$1,200. That's just unacceptable.
go in one of those drawers and find a bandana or a handkerchief. That must be our guest.
Yeah.
Okay, this is we're going to introduce you to our guest who's coming on, Dimir Tatum, and we're so excited about him, and he's going to tell us about coping with the pandemic, COVID-19, and we're so excited to have him today.
So it says his name again is
Dimir Tatum.
Dimir
He
Tatum.
has a phenomenal story. He could be on many shows because he is very diversified
Very and handsome.
and handsome.
Yeah, he's handsome.
And my grandson, with my great grands up there.
All right,
Okay.
this is wonderful. So we're glad to have him on because what I've noticed that a lot of people, I guess because of the unknown, people are very fearful,
Yes.
and you're fearful of what you don't know.
Right.
So there's a lot of anxiety that I've observed. Not that I'm a psychologist, but I've observed
Yes.
a lot of anxiety on people on social media and different things of that nature. So we're glad to have him. And he is a licensed
Licensed therapist. CSSW. And he has more. He's a social worker, and he's diversified. Also, he is an advocate for youth, and he's a youth counselor because during this time we know we do have some mental crisis going on.
Absolutely.
And he's the one to contact if your child seems to be, having some issues because he does this as his lifeline. This is what he does.
Very good. So hello, Dimir Tatum.
Dimir. Good morning, Damir. Are you there?
Well, we'll keep talking.
Damir?
He'll call us back.
Oh, did he hang up?
I don't
Okay.
think so. Well, yeah, there's a lot of things that are going on, and people are coping, trying to cope, with being shut up in the house.
Okay,
Yes, and that should be him calling in now
Uh-huh.
for our show. All right. I have. Well, I'm going to continue to talk on, and he should be on with us any second. Damir Tatum, and a wonderful young person who's out there doing a whole lot of positive. Hello, Damir.
Yes, hi. Is this Dr. Witherspoon?
Yes.
Yes, good morning. How are you?
Good morning. Your voice seems to be coming in just a tad low. Okay,
Is this a bit better?
that's a bit better.
Okay, great.
Thank you so much for calling in on our show on today, and I want to thank Lady Parrish for inviting you to be a part of the show. We were talking and discussing what we wanted to do, and I thought, well, there's a lot of people that are panicking and they need some coping skills during this pandemic. And she said, I know the person. I said, well, that would be fantastic. And so thank you so much for calling in on the show. Say a little something about yourself.
Yeah, so good morning. My name is Damir Tatum. I'm a licensed therapist with a specialization in early childhood and adolescent development, and I'm also a family therapist.
Oh, great. Well, I saw you a few years ago, and a few years ago, we were on a program together at Shiloh Temple, and you were going for your master's degree, so you completed all of that.
I did, yes, yep. And in addition to doing that, I've also been working towards obtaining my LCSW. Right now, I'm in the process of obtaining that and just waiting any day to get that approval so I can do more with that. I'm pretty excited about it.
Well, congratulations. You had some goals and you pursued your goals. And we want to hear how people can cope, how we can cope during this pandemic.
Well, the main thing I would definitely recommend is the importance for people to stay safe. That's what's most important, is that we do what is recommended, which is coming from the state, and that's to practice social distancing. Do your best to not be around large groups of people, and just keep you and your family safe. That's the core of it all. And as far as coping,
we can't. I'm sorry, Mr. Tatum. Can you talk up just a little? For some reason, you sound a little distant. We can't hardly hear you.
Okay, let me see. Maybe I can. Okay, can you guys hear me now?
A little better.
Can you hear him now, Miss Johnson? One of our Facebook viewers said they can't hear him.
Okay. Give me 1 second.
And that's
Is this better?
a little bit.
Okay, great. And just interrupt me and let me know if you guys are still struggling with hearing me.
We're struggling.
Okay. Okay. Hello.
Yeah, that's better.
Much better.
Okay. All right. Very good. So you had asked me what are some good ways of coping. I would say I would recommend that people just accept the reality of what we're going through. Right now, we are going through a pandemic. There's a virus out there. It's affecting a lot of individuals. And like I said earlier, the most important thing is for us to stay safe. For individuals that need resources, I would say go onto your local county website. Check out different resources that you may need. As a social worker, I've been helping a lot of individuals who've been experiencing a lot of stress, anxiety, and depression due to all the recent changes. Particularly in Atlantic County, there's been thousands of individuals who have lost jobs.
True.
And they are trying to figure out how are they going to cope, with trying to provide for their families, paying their bills. And because of that, that causes a lot of stress on individuals. But the reality is right now there's not much that we can do to kind of get this, but to kind of prepare for it as best as we can. And so that goes back to what I was saying earlier of, doing what you can to just stay safe. Stay safe and take this, do what you can to get through it. But most importantly, take this time out and spend time with your families. One of the things that I've been doing here in my house is we have been taking time out. With my children, we'll play different games and just try to spend quality time together. And that's something that, because of my busy schedule prior to going through this whole process, I wasn't able to do. So, you have to make the best of it, because it is a thing. It's very serious.
Right.
But this is reality right now.
Absolutely. And you know what? I'm glad you brought that up, because there are some positives to COVID-19.
Yes,
And spending time with the family is one of them.
definitely.
People are eating at the table, people are cooking more, and eating healthier.
Hmm.
And they're just spending that quality time, because you could be so busy that you don't get the time to spend with people that you really love.
Yes. Yeah. Yep. And it's funny because, like you said, there are positives. I've been seeing a lot of people actually trying to achieve different goals that they've had for themselves. I have a client who's been working on her garden. She was like, for the past month, I've been trying to get out there and do this, and she's like, now I have all the free time to just go out there and knock it out. Um, so that's one of the positives. And also on the flip side of that, there's a lot of people out there, especially more particularly in North Jersey, all of Jersey also, but especially in North Jersey, who's experiencing a lot of grief and loss, because we're getting hit hard here in South Jersey, but in North Jersey, it's worse.
It is.
Um, and so for those individuals, I just want to say, reach out, contact your local social service agencies, get yourself help, because as individuals, we have to stay strong for ourselves. And one thing, especially in our community, the black communities, we don't really put a lot of emphasis on mental health.
True.
And a lot of people, we're experiencing a lot of mental health issues, whether you like it or not, because of the recent changes that's been happening in our lives. A lot of people are experiencing depression and anxiety and various other mental health disorders. Get yourself help for that. There's counseling out there. There's teletherapy. There's all different kind of things that we can do to help you out. Because especially if you are the person who's the rock of your family, your family need you. But
Absolutely.
you have to help yourself first in order to help them out. So do what you can to keep yourself stable and mentally healthy, because that's the only way that you're going to get through this. As you know, there's no deadline as to when this is going to end. We're
Right.
just kind of swimming through it and just trying to figure this all out and taking it on a day by day basis at this point.
Absolutely. The scientists, you hear so much, you don't know what to believe,
Yeah.
but staying safe and keeping yourself safe will help you in the midst of all of this crisis. They're saying that the peak is supposed to happen within the next week or 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
We really don't know what's going to happen, but I pray that this will be turned around, and if people continue to do, for the most part, people have been staying home
Right.
and only going out when totally necessary. I seen some at ShopRite. I was at CVS yesterday, and now they have the plastic up, in front of the registers, and before you can get your medicine, it's plastic. So trying to keep the employees that are out there,
Yes.
that are essential employees
Yes.
that are out there working, is you. Yes, you have the doctors and you have the nurses, but you also have people who pull your trash and you
Yeah.
recycle, and
Yeah.
different things like that. They're out there, and they want to be safe too, and they want to come
Yeah.
home to their family members.
And I would like to take a moment to recognize those individuals, like you said, the nurses, the doctors, but also the people who are working at our local stores,
Yes.
the trashmen and all these people who are in these essential services who cannot stay home with their family and are risking their lives to help out the rest of society. I just want to take a moment and thank you guys because there's a lot of different individuals in different fields who don't get recognition, but they're working just as hard as the social workers, the doctors, and other areas that are helpful. So I truly thank you, and I'm sure the rest of the state thank you guys too.
Absolutely, the EMTs,
Yes.
Yes.
all of that, things that we don't, I think, take for granted,
Right.
and is they having a certain amount of anxiety too. I,
Yeah.
I was watching
Oh yeah.
last night that a young lady, she was a paramedic and she got it, but she's afraid to go back to work, thinking, what if she gets it again?
Right.
Yes.
And
Yes.
it's worse the second time. And in South Jersey, we had our first death the other day in EHT.
Wow. Okay.
So it's here, and like you
Yeah.
say, it is our reality
Yes.
for right now. But I'm hoping that things will get better.
Yes. Yes. So yeah, I agree. This is the only thing we can do right now is to adapt. To adapt to our new way of life because this is what life is going to be for however long. Like you said, hopefully, and by the grace of God, we can get I believe it's called the curve. Hopefully that happens this week. But the way things are going, it doesn't really seem like that's going to be the rate, or the direction that this whole virus, COVID-19, is going. So,
Absolutely. Because I saw
yeah.
that there's going to be a new testing site behind the Hamilton Mall.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, there's going to be
Very
a
good.
testing site, but still you have to have symptoms
Yes.
to get
Well, I
tested.
have a question for you, Dr. Witherspoon. Do you believe that our, state government is doing enough to, I guess, work on decreasing the amount of people that are being affected by the virus, or do you think they are? What's your opinion on that?
Well, I think the governor and the state representatives and local are doing the best that they can with what they
Right.
have and with
Mhm.
what they know as they're
Mhm.
coming along. I know there's been a lot of jockeying and trying to get ventilators and making
Yeah.
sure, our state is just as important as every other any other state. But it
That's right.
seems like if you're not a red hot state, the supplies are not um,
They're plentiful.
as
Sure.
plentiful as like New York or someone else who's having. But our lives matter too. So even although we may not have had as many deaths, that doesn't mean that we want to increase those deaths. And you want to have the equipment to for the doctors in the hospitals. I know they're putting up like hospitals in North Jersey and different places. I know
Yes.
Mayor Marty Smalls is trying to get a testing center in Atlantic City. I don't know if that'll
Great.
happen, but at least everybody's out there trying to do something to make
Yes.
people much safer. So I think they're doing the best they can with what they have. But the
Sure.
resources, if people are out of work for 30 days, they lose their insurance.
Yeah.
See,
Yeah.
that's
And
another big thing. That's huge.
yes, and I hope that our country, from the federal government on down, um, under, learn from this experience. I hope that what we can do is create a system where we are better prepared for this if this was to happen again. Because who knows? There's a chance that this can happen again, where we are, because it seems like the way we are moving as far as our country goes is we're just kind of dealing with it on a day-by-day basis. But hopefully we can learn from this experience, and then the next time this happens, we could already have different things in place where we're not, looking for different ventilators or face masks and, trying to find all these resources. It would be great if we can already have these things already set up. I would like to see, a system where if this were to occur again, people don't have to wait 3 or 4 weeks or even longer to get financial assistance from the government, because that in itself increases a lot of anxiety. And I'm sure people are very thankful that the federal government is going to provide relief to them. But the reality is that's only going to cover, it's only going to help out for so long. Again, I know people are going to be very appreciative and thankful, but hopefully the next time this occurs, we, instead of just, giving out the $1,200 relief funds, which is great. Maybe we can do that on a monthly basis until our country can get through this. Let's do it for 3 months just to help out, because this is going to hit a lot of people hard, and you can see the negative effects that it's having on the economy and different businesses and individuals as well. So I hope that our country, take this experience, learn from it, and do our best to prep for it next time.
I totally agree. We're coming up for a commercial, and if you could stay with us for a few more minutes,
Sure.
after the commercial, I really would appreciate it. I was very saddened, though, that the president would not let the Obamacare be reinstated for those individuals who lost their insurance. I'm very fortunate,
Right.
and I have medical insurance, and my family has medical insurance, but there are a lot of people out there who do not.
Yes.
And it's a stressful time. So hold on, Mr. Tatum. We'll be right back in a couple of seconds.
All right.
Time to get activated. The Atlantic City NAACP will host a 30-minute radio show every Tuesday at 5 p.m. on WEHA. Informative guests, current affairs, local topics, and up-to-date information will be provided. Join us every Tuesday at 5 p.m. because when we fight, we win.
Sensory sensitivity, repetitious behavior, lack of eye contact. You can see signs of autism in children as young as 18 months. Learn the signs at autismspeaks.org/signs. Brought to you by Autism Speaks.
Do you have an
and the Ad
event
Council.
coming up and need a facility? Well, let me tell you about Atlantic County's newest banquet facility, Beacon Hall, located in the heart of Egg Harbor City, right off the White Horse Pike. Beacon Hall is a full-service banquet facility that is 5,000 square feet with an attached parking lot. Book your conferences, book signings, birthday parties, bridal showers, baby showers, weddings, repasts. No event is too big or too small. You can book your next event by calling us at 609-965-4255 or email us at bookbeaconhall@gmail.com. That's BOOKBEACONHALL @gmail.com. Try Beacon Hall, where we turn moments into cherished memories.
Join parents and experts at Understood.org, a free online resource about learning and attention issues designed to help you help your child thrive in school and in life. Understood.org, because understanding is everything. Brought to you by
You are listening to
Understood.org and the Ad Council.
Christ-centered, community-focused, listener-supported gospel. 88.7 and 100.3 FM, Atlantic City WEHA. Don't forget to follow us on social media by searching We Have Gospel on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. Find out more at www.wehavegospel.com.
Tune into In the Community with Thelma Witherspoon, Saturdays 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. on Gospel 88.7 FM. If you just tune in, you listen to In the Community with Dr. Thelma Witherspoon, along with First Lady Parrish in the community. And we have our guests. Just want you to know that this broadcast has been brought to you by the Hawks family businesses who have been serving our community for over 30 years. And Beacon Hall, turning moments into memories. And also Tabernacle Church of Christ, Bishop Otis and First Lady Bessie Grayson. And so I'm so glad that they sponsored my show, our show, on today. And we're going to continue our conversation with Damir Tatum, right? Am I saying it right? Tatum?
Yes.
And he is a licensed therapist. And there are a lot of things going on. One thing I want you to speak to, Mr. Tatum, is that a lot of people's loved ones are going to the hospital. Locally and out of state, I know of people because I see it or I just know about it. And they can't be there with their loved ones. You know, they can't find out what's going on. They can't go to the nursing home and visit their loved ones. Some people were standing on the outside of windows looking inside the nursing homes, just trying to see if their loved ones were okay.
Yeah.
And it's very stressful. What would you recommend for someone that's going through that? I just couldn't imagine, God forbid, one of my family members was in a hospital and we can't even go in a hospital
Yeah.
to say anything to them.
Yeah, that's very traumatic. Really quick, I want to take a moment now, and I'd like to thank Lady Parrish also for reaching out to me and selecting me for being one of the guests here in you guys' show.
Absolutely.
Lady Parrish, I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
And to answer your question, Dr. Witherspoon, yeah, so going back to what I was saying, that's very traumatic to have an individual go to the hospital, and because of how quick that virus spreads, you're not being allowed to go in there and sort of sit bedside and give them that comfort and support that they need.
Right.
In fact, I have a client that I'm working with right now, whose parent, I believe it was his father, who I believe he was tested, and I believe he was positive, and he's going through that same experience. And for those individuals, it's very tough. Number one, because that's your loved one.
Yes.
You're reading, you see what's going on in the news, and you understand how serious this virus is, and you love that person. And it's very difficult when that person who you love dearly is in the hospital, and you don't know how they're doing. You don't know how their health is. That causes a lot of stress. For those individuals, I would recommend just understanding that you are not allowed to be in that hospital to keep you safe. And that's a hard pill to swallow, because still, I don't care if this person, I love that person. I want to be next to them. I can only imagine, parents who have children that, are exposed to the virus, and now your child is in the hospital and you are not allowed to, be bedside by your kid. That's pretty traumatic. But I would just say do what you can to keep in contact with the hospitals, to check on the status of your loved one, pray for your loved one.
Yes.
And do everything you can to just make sure that they are supported and they are comfortable and just able to get the help that they need, because not only is it going to be stressful for you as the individual who has not contracted the virus, but it's also stressful on them because they have the virus. In addition to that, they're not allowed to be around their loved ones. So the best thing you can do for those people is to do what you can to support them, pray for them, and just help them get through it as safely as they can.
I would like to also suggest that if the person is coherent and they have a phone, if you have older loved ones or any family members, make sure that they're on social media, because at least you can FaceTime them.
Yes, you can.
Yeah.
That may be the only way that you can, get any contact with your loved one, if they're coherent, and they're not in ICU where they can't talk, is that at least you can see them. And I'm getting a little emotional because there was a lady on TV last night. Her husband was 42. He died up in Garden City, New York. And she couldn't go there. She couldn't go to the hospital. She couldn't hold his hand. She couldn't, do anything.
Yeah.
The nurse was kind and did put him on FaceTime so they could, at least have some type of communication and closure or something. So that's the only thing I know that you can do, because like you say, you can't go in there. They're not going to allow you, to be in there. So
Save you too.
they save you too, absolutely. And we want for everyone to be safe out there. So if you have loved ones and they're not, they're not up to date on social media or different things like that, don't you just be home with your phone and your iPad. Make sure your loved one knows how to operate that too.
That's right.
I think that would be so helpful. And another thing that that is stressful, if you don't have online banking, right? A lot of older people don't have online banking.
Right.
You can't go into the banks anymore as effective as Thursday.
Right.
At 11 o'clock, you could no longer walk inside the bank. Everything is being done through the drive-through. So the banks are still open. But if your loved one doesn't know how to have online banking,
Right.
I think that you need, you got family members that are tech savvy. That would help alleviate some stress for them because then now they're able to look at their accounts. So that's another form of help.
Yes. Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, and that's an important note because I didn't even think about that. I do know a lot of individuals that are in their golden years who still go to the banks and take their money out. They're using checkbooks, and they go to different places because they prefer having that human contact to pay bills and make sure things are done. And sometimes those individuals can be stubborn at times because, you and I know, we're like, you can just use your credit card and pay your Comcast bill. They're like, no, I got to go to the building. I got to make sure I see that I give them the money that, and it's like, so, in these kind of situations, I agree, having no serious conversation with them. Like, listen, it's not safe for you. Number one, it's not safe. Number two, they're not even open. Let me help you get through this process. After this is done, you can go back to doing it your way. But
exactly.
Let me just help you through this process.
I think that that's some very good advice, because like you say, they can be a little stubborn, some of the seniors sometimes because they're not used to it.
Yeah.
They're just not used to that. And they do want that human contact that they cannot have,
right.
At this moment.
That's what they're used to. I mean, that's how they've been paying, their bills and getting through for however long. So you're right about that. That's a great point, actually.
Well, we want to thank you so much. Is there something, Lady Parrish?
There has been some good things to come out of this because with our young, all of our children are home schooling now. You're almost a homeschool teacher. Yeah. But I understand that your 3-year-old is helping the 7-year-old. He's 7? And she's learning to read, and she's 3?
Yeah, well, actually, my daughter, she's 3 years old, and because due to the virus, we've now become teachers as well. She's been trying to do work herself, and she wants to sit at the table, and she wants to use a computer and learn her ABCs and things like that. So what my fiance and I did, we went online on Amazon, and we purchased a lot of different assignments and different pre-K books just to get her going. And my daughter, at this point, she probably knows over 30 different words. She can read, books and books that have repetition. But for her to kind of be able to grasp those concepts and read and know words, and we practice flashcards and things like that, it makes me pretty excited because I like that she likes to learn, and that brings joy to my heart.
That's great. That is fantastic.
And I think that's one of the positives that you can do with your children at home, because the reality is, and even before I mention that, I got to say, 2 or 3 weeks ago when we transitioned from going from school to the children be at home, that first week, and I'm pretty sure a lot of parents can relate, that was a very difficult week.
Yes.
You went from sending your kids to school to now you're home. You have to, be the teacher, and as you know, a lot of kids, they struggle with their transition. It's like, wait, I got to do all this work at home? No, I want to play Xbox or go play Fortnite. And for them, it was hard. But I think after the second or third week, it got better. I mean, I know, and I'm pretty sure a lot of parents can relate to this as well. You created that routine, and you just kind of start going with the flow of it. And like I said, through that experience for me, I feel like I've grown close with my children, and I've learned so much about them because I've been able to spend so much time, quality time with them.
That's the great point. Spending quality time, and then you get to see what they're actually doing, because a lot of times you come in and you look at something, but you're not looking at it in detail.
Right.
But now you're looking at it in detail, but spending that quality time, that will help you cope. Playing family games.
Yeah.
That'll help you cope.
Yeah, movies. My children love when we, every other night we'll just, around 7 o'clock, we'll go pop in a Netflix movie, get some popcorn, and just relax. And for them, they're like, wow, this is great. So, I recommend take this time out, get different activities with your kids and your loved ones, and enjoy it. You know, you should go out, buy some board games, Uno, Monopoly, Trouble, different educational games, and just to kind of, you'll be amazed at how much you learn from those little
Yeah.
guys. You know, and that's the beauty of it all. I think in this experience, you just have to make the best of it because, like I said before, this is our new reality. This is our new way of living right now. Until we can get through this whole process, so only thing we can do is just adapt and just make the best of it.
I'm going to try to get some, absolutely. I'm going to try to get some more information for people who are filing for unemployment. It's
Yeah.
been
Well,
very
they can do.
stressful with them because you can't get through. It's crashed on multiple occasions.
Yes.
If you're on the phone, once you get to a certain point, it hangs up.
Right.
You know, until you due to the overwhelming, you know, overwhelming call back the next day, and people have been calling for weeks
Yeah.
and have not been
Yeah.
able to get through to no one. Now, if you have a claim, at least you got somewhere.
Yeah.
Right.
$66
Yeah,
million.
you're 2 steps ahead at least. You know.
At least you got the claim. But some people haven't even got to that point to get a claim and can't talk to anyone. You know, so I hope that the state will be able to have people to come back, even if they're working from home.
Yeah.
They have the proper equipment to work from home, so some of
Right.
these calls can be answered because now nationally we up to 6 million Americans who are unemployed,
Yeah.
and that's a lot. And I was reading yesterday, I think it was in the press that we had maybe like 46,000 people in Atlantic County during Sandy or during one of those storms, and now we have over 206,000. That's huge.
That's a big number.
That's a big
That's a
number,
big
and
number.
people are very stressful. They've called up not one time. I may be exaggerating because I do exaggerate, but they've called like 200 times. Or been on the phone for 3 hours. You know, trying to get through. They call early in the morning, call late at night, and as soon as they get to the point where they think they can hear something, the phone hangs up.
Yeah. Yep. And that's been happening a lot. And for those individuals, you know, I would suggest do your best to try to be one of the first people that call, because even that sometimes doesn't work. Also, and I'm glad you brought this up. As far as resources go, on your phone there's a COVID-19 hotline. On your phone, you just have to dial 211, select your county, and then they could provide you with a lot of resources. In Atlantic County, there are several food banks that are open. If you need food, a lot of them, you can go on the internet and, Google these, like Atlantic County food banks. A lot of them, due to the way that the virus spread, what they've been doing is limiting the amount of days. So what they would do is maybe open up on Monday and Friday, and then you would get enough food for the week. Also, people who are in need of, food and those kind of things. A lot of school districts are providing
That's true.
lunches, yes, and breakfast for students who, and it's for any student. It doesn't matter your income level or your financial situation. A lot of districts, especially in Atlantic County and all over Jersey, really, has been providing bag lunches for breakfast and lunch for the entire week. I would just say check your school district's website to check that out as well, because like a lot of food banks, they've been limiting the amount of days, and what they would do is they would maybe open up on a Monday and a Friday, or Monday or Wednesday, and you would get enough food for a certain amount of days. This way you don't have to keep coming back, and we can continue to practice social distancing.
I think that's very, very, very good information, and that's excellent. So there are a lot of programs that are out there and that are available. Go to 211.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't have a computer, and even if you do have a computer, you can call 211 to get the information that you may need to help you during this difficult time.
Yep, and then you can also text NJ COVID, NJCOVID, to 898-211 if you're more comfortable with texting as well, to find any resources that you're looking for in the community.
Well, Mr. Tatum, we want to thank you so much for calling in on our show on today. And I'm very proud of you, and I know your grandmom's is very proud of you too.
Thank you.
and all of your accomplishments and the things that you're doing. And I believe that the information that you gave today will be very helpful to our listening audience on today.
Thank you. Thank you. And I would like to thank you for having me, Dr. Witherspoon and Lady Parrish. And I just pray that you guys have a good day, and I want you ladies to stay safe.
All right, you too.
Have a great day.
All right, thank you so much. And we was listening to Damir Tatum, a licensed therapist, and telling us about how to cope during the pandemic. And there's some things that we all can do now. One thing I would like for Lady Parrish to talk about is that now, although virtual things have been set up for you to see your medical doctor,
yes.
and that's been like maybe started 5 years ago or maybe longer. But for the most part, most of us went into the doctor's office. And I personally just got a call from one of my doctors that I'm going to have a virtual conference with. I said, do I still have to pay?
Yes, you do.
And they said, yes, I do. So we were talking about this, Lady Parrish and I want her to talk about the next show that's coming up.
Oh, yes. Okay, we're excited about this. Pleasantville's own Dr. Kelly Lopez Cintron will be with us on next Saturday. She will be talking to us about telehealth, telemedicine, telecare. I conducted a survey this week on my Facebook page and asked different ones had they experienced online doctor visit or a phone doctor visit. And most of them did reply and say, yes, we have. So they're using Zoom. If you don't know how to use Zoom, go to YouTube and put Zoom 000 because you can't put 001 because you don't know anything. But just put Zoom. Learn Zoom. Zoom tutorial. That can help you. Some of them are using FaceTime. You don't know that.
Right.
I use YouTube as a tutor because the things that I don't know, they help me. But I did get that. Some of them, those are the things that they said. And in that survey, Dr. Lopez Cintron buzzed in and said, this is what I use for my patients. So I contacted her, and she so willingly agreed to be with us on next Saturday.
Right.
So tell all the Pleasantville people, Dr. Cintron will be with us. She graduated from Pleasantville High School, and she went on to become a doctor, and we're so proud of her, and we will be looking forward to being with her, of course, virtually, next Saturday at 9 a.m. on this very station and on our Facebook pages. And you can actually tag the page and put it on your friend's page so that different ones can see that. Or you can even have, what do you call it, when you do the party and you invite people to it.
I don't know.
You know the party. They have it online.
An online party.
Online.
I made it up.
That's not or something like that. I can't.
Yeah.
You're nervous. It can't come to you. But you know how you do it.
Yes.
And you get the friends that you have to watch what we're doing.
Or when you start a.
That's the word.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know it. Tell me what it is.
I know what it is.
Put it in there, Dr. Bermudez.
Or Jared. Somebody help us out.
What's that word we're looking for?
So that's a lot that's going on in our community. So if you have loved ones who've always gone to the doctor, they've always gone to the doctor, and now the doctor is telling them, you can't come in here, and you gotta Zoom, or you gotta have a virtual conference meeting. Then make sure that your family members are set up for that and that they are prepared for that, because that could be such a transition, for our loved ones, especially if they've always gone into the doctor, So I got to learn how to do it, and I'm going to have it done, and maybe we can be on virtual next week when we're talking to Dr. Lopez. When we're talking to Dr. Lopez, maybe we can be on virtual. Maybe I have my pad up and I'll be on virtual so I can start practicing.
Yes.
You have to practice. You have some more stuff for us, Lady Parrish?
Actually, no. I just wanted to remind you to be safe. That
Yes.
There still are things out there, people that are dealing with some crises. I'm not sure if you saw the other day of a young man walking down in the streets of Atlantic City completely naked. There are mental crises going on in this pandemic. So what we do want to do is to be aware if we have any family members that may be, experiencing some depression or whatever, we need to call for help. There are helplines there. You can go to my page. I'm also going to post it on the WEHA Facebook page of numbers that you can actually call, and somebody is on that crisis line to help you.
And also, you have to call, I think, and request for a mail-in ballot.
Yes.
Yeah, if you want to vote. I think the voting is, I know in Atlantic City, they are doing all of theirs by mail-in ballot. And originally they were talking about having the election on June 2nd, but I don't know how that's going to go.
Mm-hmm.
So in order to exercise your rights, you have to request for a mail-in ballot. Mm-hmm. So that's something else new for people that they may not be, used to doing. Mm-hmm. But in order to participate in the election, that's what you're going to have to do. Be prepared to do, I should say. Be prepared to do. Again, we want everyone to stay safe. And our condolences are with people who have lost loved ones.
Yes.
During this particular time, it has been a very difficult time for people. Everything was okay like a few weeks ago or a month ago, and it's totally changed.
And we're not prepared. I mean,
right.
You're going to continue to do things as always, but you have to be aware the touching of the face. I was like, well, what does that have to do with anything? The distancing. If somebody sneezed and coughed, they did something this week of how far it traveled.
Yeah, put your elbow like this.
When we were kids, they told us to do this. That way it's not going to anybody but you.
Yeah, but now they're telling you to use
put it in your elbow.
In your elbow.
If you touch that.
Exactly.
So we almost have to learn a new lifestyle to be safe and to keep our children safe.
And if you're in the grocery stores, they now have like the little square boxes.
Yes.
You can't put your food on until the other person's food is totally out and they done packed up their packages. Before we used to put the little stick out there and then you would just in such a hurry, you put your stuff in, but now you can't do that. And I was in line and the man said, I'm sorry, I didn't know. And he was an older gentleman. I said, sir, it's okay. And because I was kind, he said, my wife is dying. I said, sir, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. That your wife. So people are going through a lot. She didn't have COVID-19, but she was dying. Right. So it's stressful enough. So let's try to be kinder. And nicer to people while we're out there, because everybody's going through some tough times right now.
Get a mask. Thank you, Pastor Hargrove. I made one. He said, get a mask. But that is true. Get a mask.
All right.
Go out there.
Right now, they're recommending that you wear the mask when you go outside. Go outside. I don't know if New Jersey has made that a recommendation, but I know some of the other states were saying that you had to have the mask.
Well, Dr. What's his name?
Fauci.
He's Fauci. He said that we should all wear masks now. It's getting to that point of flattening the curve, so that we are being safer. So, and to protect you and to protect others, but basically the mask protects you.
But do they have to change the mask? Because if you got that mask, aren't you breathing your germs back inside the same mask that you got on your face?
Wash that mask.
Throw the mask out.
Throw the mask in and wash. Get some. I made mine. Mine is very easy to make.
Yeah.
And I see that Dr. Robin Moore is showing you on her Facebook how to make it. It's just 3 rolls. Roll. Tuck it in. 2 rubber bands on the side. You got a mask. Okay?
And use that.
And use that. And then when you finish that day, take that thing apart, throw that in it. You can get a yard of material and make about 3 or 4 of these. Okay. This I like because I like the fabric.
I like it so elegant. It's shoes and oh my God.
Shoes and all.
Yeah.
This is a couture mask.
Yeah, because now I see people wearing gloves, but they got sandwich gloves on. I mean, like the ones you make sandwiches with.
And another thing with the gloves.
Are you gonna
use
change
them
it?
one time?
Get
throw
rid of
them
them
out. Excuse me. Put them in the trash. We've seen them all over the place.
Exactly.
No mask in the trash.
Yeah.
No things in the trash. Because now you're contaminating everybody else.
Absolutely.
We have to use good sense and good manners.
Exactly.
And my mother used to say you learn manners before you left home, but some people didn't.
That's true.
So put those, dispose anything in the trash.
In the trash. So if you,
trash.
I don't think that the sandwich gloves are
No, they're not going to.
effective.
No.
You know, but if you got regular gloves, that's just my opinion. I'm not laughing because people are doing what they feel is right to do, but that's very thin.
Yes.
You know, so by the time you touch your car or something, it's already contaminated.
Yes.
Throw it out, and you got to keep changing your gloves and so on and so forth.
Pull a few of these out. I don't know if you can see this. I pull a few out before I go.
Yeah.
And when I get there, I wipe off my cart. And then you open the door.
You're right.
And you're doing things, and you don't want to be over careful. Thank you for laughing, Pastor. Wait, up here.
Where can you buy these clothes? Because you can't find Lysol and Clorox wipes.
I bought these before it got popular to buy them. I bought these to use at my home. And we wipe down and clean with these in different rooms.
So if you got regular Clorox at home, I think we have to become creative. Put some in the bleach.
One of these and put some, yes.
Yeah, put some tissues in there and put some bleach in there and then pull it out.
Pull it out. Yeah. Take some paper towels and put them in some bleach. You're good. Yeah.
Did you enjoy our program today? I know you did. Thanks for tuning in to In the Community with Dr. Thelma and Lady Parrish on In the Community. Keep those dials locked and stay safe. Happy Palm Sunday, everybody. See you on next week.
Good. Bless you.
Best thing about driving home is listening to WEHA. The best thing is getting there. And that's why I'm glad when I finally get home, I can listen to WEHA on my computer. It's